the jungle, the mighty jungle. YouTube, what's happening? Oh man, it's about to be over. All right, so we're gonna talk about Stephen A. Smith's rant over J.R. Smith's hoodie. All right, which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me. What you think, Mr. Scott?
For this? No.
About to say for this. All right, so basically, Stephen A. Smith was talking about how, for some reason, he doesn't believe in the new hoodies that Nike has now. Like, so Nike introduced the hoodies for the warm-up suits. So most of the players on the bench, when they're not in uniform, when they're not ready out on the court playing, they're in warm-ups. Nothing wrong with that. So this year they're doing hoodies, probably inspired by Hoodie Mellow. I don't know. But the whole gist of his argument was that somehow J.R. Smith's hoodie, I mean, yeah, Cleveland has been losing lately. They got smacked by my New York Knicks. But, so somehow he kind of compared them wearing hoodies to white people in the crowd being, with it being reminiscent of Trayvon Martin. And white people thinking that them wearing hoodies reminds them of Trayvon Martin, which is completely idiotic and asinine if you ask me.
It's irrelevant.
What was that?
It's completely irrelevant.
Basketball.
Right,
Basketball. So, I don't understand how that has anything to do with his play. Him wearing a hoodie. So, because Stephen A. Smith, and normally I'm on Stephen A's side when he goes on these rants. Most of the time I'm on his side, because sometimes it makes sense, but this time he's reaching. And he has a tendency to reach sometimes, but like I said, I think he went completely left with reaching as far as this argument goes. It really isn't any argument or any debate, really. You know what I mean? If you want to dissect anything about J.R. Smith, talk about his play. He just got put back in the starting lineup, and the lineup keeps switching every time, so they don't have, obviously the Cavs don't have any consistent chemistry to go off on, because every week or every couple games, they got a different lineup. 1 minute they got Kevin Love at center. Next minute they got Tristan Thompson at center, because they don't want Kevin Love to get beat up, because he ain't that big anymore like he was in Minnesota. So I was just saying, I don't understand how him wearing a hoodie has anything to do with white people thinking he looks like Trayvon Martin. It doesn't make any sense, and it's a reach. And it's one of those situations where, people accuse black people of always pulling a race card. You know what I mean? This is one of those situations where it's like you're pulling the race card. What does basketball have anything to do with Trayvon Martin, period?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with Trayvon Martin.
He brought up past protests.
He brought up African American men being judged and prejudiced against. What are we talking about? All because Nike decided to allow them to wear hoodies. I actually like the hoodies, to be honest. It looks kind of dope to me. I get a hoodie warm up. I wish I had a hoodie warm when I played basketball in junior high school.
$350.
You know what I'm saying? But Stephen A. Smith, you need to stop reaching, bro. You can sound philosophical at times, and other times you can sound like a complete buffoon when you reach for this stuff that's completely irrelevant to the sport of basketball. Not to say that your job is to speak on a lot of things, but in this particular instance, you brought up something that had nothing to do with his play. If you want to dissect him, talk about his play. Talk about that. Dissect that. Be more specific about how you think he's doing as far as his play on the court, not what he's wearing when he's on the bench. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? You got anything further to add?
No, nothing further.
All right, so in the jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. So subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Click that like button. Like it, love it. Tell your friends about me. Holla. The lion has spoken.